Welcome to Malifaux University. 611. Gaining ground scheme. Hold up their forces. Hold up their forces requires a little finesse and restraint. You must have two of your models engaging two other models at the end of a turn, twice. The catch is that the enemy models you engage must each have a higher soulstone cost than your models. This scheme is identical to the core rule scheme of the same name. The reveal condition for Hold Up Their Forces is scored at the end of the turn. You need to have two of your models each engaging a different enemy model of a higher soulstone cost. That's it. No requirements for reduced health, or minion versus henchman, or anything like that. You don't even have to name the models when you pick the scheme at the beginning of the game. You will want to refer frequently to your opponent's crew list in the app, so you can subtly check the soulstone costs of her models against yours, without alerting your opponent to the fact that you're working on this scheme. As long as your models are engaging the enemy models, and they are all of the appropriate soulstone costs, you score the point. The end condition is revealed at the end of the game, and is identical to the reveal condition. You can use the same models or different ones, it doesn't matter. The only real caution to this scheme is to be careful which enemy models you kill, or that you let be killed in your crew. If your opponent slaughters all the low-cost models in your crew, you may not have any models that qualify for this scheme by the end of the game. Likewise, if you kill off all but one of the higher-cost models from your opponent's crew, you will have killed your chances of scoring the second victory point. Remember that summoned models don't count for friendly schemes or strategies and cannot take the interact action for the turn they are summoned. This means you cannot summon a model and have it engage an enemy model of higher cost that turn for the victory point, but it could do so the next turn as long as it wasn't summoned in turn 5. If your opponent summons a model with a higher cost than one of your models, you could totally use her model for this scheme, since it's only friendly schemes and strategies that are affected by summoning. I'll take a brief moment now to thank all those who were patrons at the time this video was made, especially Sergey, Keith, Alan, Jeremy, Tom, and Travis, and many more at the free student tier. Your support is essential to bringing these videos to life. Let's see this in action. Cornelius Bass and his Frontier crew are throwing down with Lucas McCabe, Relic Hunter, and his Wastrels. Bass has two Pathfinders with the Set the Trap bonus action that allows them to summon a Clockwork Trap model. Those are worth only 2 soulstones, so he figures they're perfect for the Hold Up Their Forces scheme. By the end of the second turn, the Frontier player has summoned a Clockwork Trap, and both the Clockwork Trap and Bernadette Bass are engaging 5 soulstone ruffians. Before the Frontier player opens his mouth and mistakenly reveals the scheme, he remembers that summoned models don't count for friendly schemes in the turn they were summoned. He decides to wait until the next turn. Looking at the stat card for the Clockwork Traps, though, he realizes his second mistake. Clockwork Traps are insignificant and will never count for schemes or strategies. The Frontier player does some re-evaluation. The lowest cost members of his crew that aren't insignificant are Bernadette Bass and the 2 Frontiersmen at 5 soulstones. Since the ruffians are the same cost as the Frontiersmen, at least one of them won't work for the scheme. Everyone else in the Wastrel crew would be suitable for the scheme, as they are all cost 6 or higher, except for Lucas's totem Luna, who costs 2 soulstones and is also insignificant. By the end of turn 3, the Frontier crew has lost both Bernadette and the Clockwork Trap. Their 2 Frontiersmen are engaging the Corpse Curator and Sadir Alchibal. They reveal the scheme and score the victory point. Now that the Wastrel player knows what his opponent is up to, he does some calculations of his own. If he takes out the Frontiersmen, the Frontier player will have to use higher cost models, like the 2 Pathfinders at 6 soulstones, the 7 soulstone Austringer or Pearl Musgrove, also at 7 soulstones. Towards the end of turn 5, both ruffians and Frontiersmen are dead, and the 2 Pathfinders are nowhere near the enemy crew. Pearl Musgrove is engaging Sadir Alchibal, and both have activated. Seeing an opportunity, Jonathan Reichart, with a 2-inch engagement range, finishes his activation just over an inch away from Lucas McCabe, dismounted hunter, tying him up for the end condition. For his final activation, Lucas looks at his nearby totem, Luna, and uses his Chain Gang bonus action. He moves Luna a couple inches away, and then moves 3 inches toward her, ending within 3 inches of Luna and out of Jonathan Reichardt's engagement range, robbing the Frontier crew of their second victory point for this scheme. That's the Gaining Ground scheme. Hold up their forces. Pick up a printable set of all the markers and tokens you need to play Malifaux in the Wargame Vault. If you haven't already, join us on Patreon to receive early, ad-free access to all new content. And be sure to visit the Malifaux University gift shop for the latest in Malifaux-themed shirts, hoodies, drinkware, and more. Links are in the notes below. And remember, play friendly games, keep it simple, and have fun.